listening to Jigga Set. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know. Jigga Set Radio. What you see now on the internet? Nah, I was listening to Jigga Set. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know. Jigga Set Radio.
Welcome to Jigga Set Radio, y'all. It's your boy Jeremy back in the lab, back in the studio, and we here with someone really special. Someone just super special because they're short.
You know what?
No,
You know
for real.
where we go.
I'm in the studio with Kerry D. Y'all make some noise for Kerry D. And today happens to. We're gonna have so much fun today. You don't even know. Today happens to be his birthday as well. So I don't have a soundbite for birthday
Or a gift, apparently.
It's in the drink. And before we shots fired, damn. We're gonna have fun today. Bruh. Cut. Wait till the visuals get released on this one. So we're here with Kerry D. He's a really good friend, y'all, and I was very honored to have him on the show. Oh. He even got a haircut for this. This is amazing.
I did look like a homeless man before this, so appreciate
that happens a lot.
I mean, it was also for my birthday. I mean, knocking two birds out with one stone. Okay.
I think it's the same bird. So
it's a bird for sure.
All right, so
No.
Kerry, let's let the world know who you are. People that don't know, let them know.
Okay.
They know.
Well, my name is Kerry D. I am a singer-songwriter in Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I got my start singing in church. From church, went to school, brought that there. I was signed at 16, dropped at 16. No. but from that, I learned independence as far as making music. Became an independent artist. From there, I was able to create music of not just for myself, for me and my friends, and also bring it to a national platform. So, that's me in a nutshell, and I'm still going. Yeah.
Shout out to that. That's amazing. That's amazing. But we're gonna definitely get into some more nitty-gritty things here in a second. But first thing is first. Kerry is a nerd, y'all. Mm-hmm. Kerry is a nerd. And I think that's how we initially bonded is because of our nerdism. And I made that up. You guys can't take it. You guys can't take it from me. So
Webster can't.
Let's. Yeah, but Webster definitely didn't do it yet. So I actually am coming up with my own dictionary.
Wow.
We're partnering with UrbanDictionary.com.
Well,
I'm kidding, guys. Maybe in the future.
Link right on the shade, bro.
So, Kerry, you being a nerd, tell the world about your nerdism.
So I don't know if I call it nerdism.
It's a nerdism.
But obviously, I'm one of the kids who grew up restricted from a lot of regular television, so I had to sneak and watch certain kiddie versions of anime. We're talking about Pokémon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, come on, Pokémon, Pocket Monsters,
Pocket Monster, Digimon, and I gravitated to those things heavily.
Yes,
to an unhealthy degree.
Oh, what made it unhealthy?
I don't really mean unhealthy, but I mean I bought cards as an adult.
They're collector items.
Yeah, I didn't use them as collector items. I would still have them.
Were you actively playing with them?
I was actually playing with them. That nerd is.
Shout out to Inebriation Station. The true serum is in the building. What's in the cup today? We have a little libation known as a Long Island. It's not a little; it's a lot of libation.
It took a long time for you to make this Long Island.
And it took a little time for you to start feeling the effects of it.
Ooh.
So, speaking of being short, so
he I don't know if y'all can see this world.
Both,
He
use
loves
both your
clowning
cameras.
for being short, as though he is not just 2 inches taller than me.
Not even 2.
I mean, not even 2.
okay.
Like a breath above me.
Guys, we have visuals. We're gonna release the visuals.
He's just like his head is just big,
Now
so it just
it's
seems
Wow.
as
I want to
though
make sure we get a picture.
proportionize
A
it.
picture.
Absolutely.
Well, make sure.
His head is just happens to be a little bigger
Check the
than me.
Well,
Instagram. I'm gonna post a picture.
Well, Kerry, happy 32nd birthday, and
Wow.
yeah, cheers to you and all of your shortness. So shortcomings. So
Not shortcoming. I don't have those.
that's a shortcoming. So let's
Right.
denial.
Carrie, read this.
So-
Bitch.
You are allowed to cuss on this show.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
Bitch.
So we've been doing our banter clearly. The great thing I love about Kerry, though, aside from his voice, is just his personality. He's able to. I say this all intend.
He's giving a compliment. Go ahead.
Let me uninstall this.
You gotta get it out first.
Right.
It's so weird in the moment.
Right.
Ooh.
Fucking it up. Shit. Carrie is able. Fuck, I forgot what it was called.
You were giving me a compliment.
I know, I forgot it. No. Yes.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Carrie is able to come into the room and just brighten up any type of room, whether it's on a reality show or it's a kickback at the crib. And we'll get to the reality show thing in a second. But no, like Carrie, your spirit is genuine. Everyone that interacts with you, always says good things about you in any environment, any place I've gone to. It's like, oh, where's Carrie? I'm like, okay, but Jeremy's here. What about Jeremy?
No, they do not do that. No.
They did.
Oh,
It happens maybe like 2 times, but
And he likes 10 minutes. He's okay with a minute.
it's cool. All right, let's talk about your career as a artist, right? And so you make music. You've been making music for a while. You solo Kerry and then roommate Kerry.
Yeah.
Like, so let's talk about your career starting off. You know, you say you was in the church and you got signed at 16.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And
So what was your first single that officially dropped, and how did you feel when it
Was it a
happened?
cassette tape?
no, whoa, bitch. I'm not Jeremy's age. Wait.
I had to put the cup down.
We the same age.
We had CD. Well, that's the age. Straight bullet.
We're still at the podcast. I don't know where he just went for a second.
But so anyway, get into your question. So when I was signed, we did a song called Ooh Wee.
Okay.
Uh,
Walk
ugh.
through it. Ooh.
Ooh. So at this era, I mean, if you can't tell by this podcast, I am a homosexual.
No, I didn't even know.
But at the time, obviously, I'm in school, and back then it was a very different time than it is now, right?
Right.
So a lot of times, a lot of artists would be hidden. They didn't want to be, out in the open.
Right.
So you had to just kind of get in where you fit in. And I always knew I wanted to sing, so I was like, let me go in here, and I know I can write.
Keep going.
And I know I can write. I know I can. Wouldn't be a problem. So some dude saw me at like Walmart, and it was like local labels. So just in case you don't know, there's big labels and then there's local labels, and they range.
Okay. So there's the big labels and then the baby labels.
The baby labels.
Okay.
The baby labels are trying to get contracts for the big labels for your artists, right? Because they all get cut in on your money.
Right.
But anyway, so we kind of know that. So I got signed to what I don't know if it's still a thing, but it's called Funk House Records. Don't you?
Funk House.
Funk
Records.
House. They are? Oh, well, then there we go. Well, the person who was over it at the time, his name was Funkster.
Funkster. Okay.
Yeah. So he heard me, and I think somebody recommended me to him. I don't know. But I wrote a song called Ooh Wee. Back then, I was a little hot in the pants, so everything I written was sexual based. I didn't know no better. I wrote a song called the games we played, something like that, where we talk about hide and go get it, stuff like that, right? But I was always, my mind was always there, right? But so
Right.
Ooh Wee goes, I don't even know. I know it doesn't exist anymore. I can tell you that.
The
but,
song got scrapped?
No, well, we recorded it, but then I got dropped because they couldn't afford to keep their promises. So.
Ooh.
Oh, it's that for me.
Yeah.
You
Well,
put that so eloquently.
You did.
But they couldn't. Yeah, and that's how contracts get. Like, you have to find the loopholes in contracts. So it's like, if you can't uphold your end of it, then then that's it.
Makes sense.
So at the time, American Idol just became a thing. So it's like, oh, girl. So you were like, oh, should I go do American Idol? Should I go do The Voice? Or what? The Voice wasn't.
The voice
really a
wasn't
thing.
around then.
But X Factor, there were things out here, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go audition, and I'm like, y'all not picking me? What's happening? What's wrong? So I'm growing up, and it's not like I'm stopped working. Like,
Right.
Ooh Wee was a cute little record. We had went as far as like Louisiana or Wichita Falls, which in that amount of span of space promoting it. And it was me and a girl. The girl was a lesbian, but she was rapping. Shout out to Toy. I love her. Wherever you are in life, I hope you are great. But she was amazing. And I'm gonna sing a little bit. How they go? Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. I like the way your body feel wrapped around me. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. And sometimes I can't remember everything else. But that part is seared in my brain. That part is seared in my brain.
Like you need to bring it back. If you don't
maybe
Maybe it's a remix happening
Okay.
sometime soon.
Maybe, now that we are in the age of where I can do it.
Right.
But,
Yes.
But it went well. But like, you could tell certain things weren't making sense. Like, he would have me do like photo shoots where I'm sitting at a table, like I got money, like there's like money on the table. I'm supposed to be like part of the mafia. And I said, look,
The image that was being created for you.
yeah, and I was like, it wasn't me. It was him.
Right.
And
They projected that onto you.
And it was like, you don't care about your artist enough. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it tells you that. Like, okay, well, let me go find where I need to be. I think I almost went somewhere else, but then that didn't go nowhere. So,
Just
for me.
yeah. I don't have a better way of explaining it. It just didn't go any. You can see it like, girl, I've been through it before. I'm good.
Right.
But it just it promoted to me that I needed to do it on my own. Like, I needed to see me the way I see me, right? But I didn't have the know-how or the direction beforehand. It wasn't until like 2015, so I was in a whole adult, came out of a whole relationship.
That's not a half adult.
Not a whole adult. Some people will lead you to believe that I am a half adult, but that's only because they big ass head can't see past.
Yeah.
Oh, let the record show that he's talking about me.
We had already said
Right,
Be late to the party.
And he's still a half adult.
Anyway, what happened? So, when I got out that relationship, I was looking for music. I was like, let me find where I need to be. I know I don't want to be in this relationship because I'm not doing music. I can't explain it. You're not helping me get no further.
Right.
And at the time, my best friend had befriended an audio engineer.
Nice.
He's a dope engineer. And shout out to K-Beyond. And my best friend was just friends with him. He was just like cool, keeping it cool, cordial. I was like,
Your best friend being Lyndon.
yeah, Lyndon
Gotcha.
James, who is also my bandmate and roommate.
Shout out to Lyndon.
Yeah, shout out to Lyndon. But they were just friends, and I was saying like, so we're not utilizing him. Like, like let's pick his brain. Let's find out what we do to make music.
Right, exactly.
And so I started reaching out to K-Beyond, like, K-Beyond, what we do? Like, if I wanted to, let's just say I make a record, how would I do that with no money?
Right.
Or not even just no money, just not my own resources. I don't have my own studio.
Right.
How would I do that?
Right.
He was like, well, I have a studio. These are my rates. You just need to find an instrumental that you can purchase. From the purchasing of the instrumental, come here. If you've written it, we can put it together. I did it, and when you see how easy those pieces fall into place, it's like, oh wait, I can do that. I can do that. It's not a problem. So I was like, let me just continue doing it. I created a whole first project, DNA. Shout out! It was 6-year anniversary yesterday.
Nice.
Thank you. So So and since then, obviously, I've made another project with roommate, and then I'm working on new music. But yeah, you realize you can make more traction on your own than you can a lot of times with people who don't see the vision for you.
Of course.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm being really long-winded with it, but yeah.
No, you touched all the. You probably answered a couple other questions I had, but it's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Ask the questions, so let's just chop it together.
Right.
No, I'm just playing.
You are known as the Songbird. Where did that nickname come from?
I don't know. I heard it. I think it's just a common thing that people use. Well, I don't think it's common for everybody, but I have a tendency to sing with my higher register.
Yeah, yes, we know. I'm surprised these glasses are still intact.
You know.
Shout out to the new brands.
Okay, you don't mess up your mic.
I ain't worried about the mic.
Anyway, anywho, what happened? But yeah, most time I sing with my high voice. It's usually like woo, you know, it sounds like a little bird right there, but you know what I mean?
Songbird.
Is that a humming?
Yeah, and then mind you, that wasn't the best example of it.
No,
but,
it
show me better. Go ahead, do it.
Oh, sweetie,
Huh?
you have to pay for that.
Oh. As do you. That's right.
Well, that's not in budget.
That part, right? But yeah, I want to say that's where it comes from. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I like it. I just adapted it accordingly. I even wrote a version to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But it had like my own version of it called Birdcage.
Nice.
Where you feel trapped, and I was like, let me just adapt into that, because a lot of times, a lot of us as artists are trying to escape the confines of what we think artistry looks like, or what the society thinks it looks like, or what success of it looks like. And I just want to be free of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's a good transition, because the next question I was going to have for you is, what does music do for you? Because, like, you know, you started early, right? And then I'm pretty sure you've seen the various ups and downs.
For sure.
Because, you know, I as I stated to multiple other people that come on the show, being an artist is a form of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you got to hustle, grind, you got to make these connections and things. And so we'll get to that in a second. But what does music do for you? Like, what keeps you in the game?
I love stories. Like, I grew up listening to Faith Evans, Kelly Price, even like Mint Condition. A lot of the music that I would hear that really resonated with me, especially when you come up out of a church, I needed something I could connect to. So it was like R&B. The stories that were told in that, even some country music, like certain random ones.
Little Reba McEntire.
Okay.
Shout out to Reba.
My life was... but yes. But like the stories that it told, like the perspective of love that a lot of times people don't really have like I don't. That's that feeling I feel, you know. Like I gravitate to that when it comes to music. I gravitate to the connection of the person singing the music. It don't have to be their words, but if they can connect to it in a way that pulls you, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I think she really went through that, or I think he really know what that's talking about. I love that connectivity. Especially like when you think about like how church is, you know, like a lot of people would connect to like the preacher, but I connected to the music in it, because a lot of time it's the music that really delivered someone, or, you know, for lack of a better word.
Take you in and take you out.
Right, exactly. But sometimes you will see somebody singing, you be like, damn, is like, I believe whatever sorrows that person went through,
right,
that song is getting them out of that. You know what I mean? Whatever that journey looks like. But I love music that tells journeys, like, and that's what like my first project. I wanted to tell the beginning and end of a relationship. Like I love that part keeps me like, ooh, can I find another story in this? Can I create another story out of this?
And so, are you referring to Crossroads?
The Crossroads is definitely the stamp that for DNA for sure.
Okay, so the example you were just giving, was that Crossroads, or were you referring to something
It
else?
was the whole project.
Oh, okay,
because if you think of I mean, Crossroads is my most popular song. Go listen to it.
Yes.
But,
Is it on the major platform?
It's on all the platforms. All of them.
All
Major, minor, between.
It's the between for me.
It's the in between, okay? Because we like all coins matter. You can send them to me.
We're here with Kerry D, y'all. He's cutting up the best way he knows.
Okay. But what were we saying?
Your project.
Oh yeah, but so DNA in and of itself with you. Excuse me. There's hair in my nails.
It's hair on the table too.
Well, you cleaned it up.
I'll wipe it down.
Okay. But with you, it starts off like the beginning parts of a relationship when you first see that person and you're like, ooh, like, oh, is this? Do I like
Is
that
this what it's
person?
giving?
Yeah. Okay. Love Tango takes you through the feeling of falling in love. Sometimes it takes like, shit, bitch, I'm in here. And it's like a dance. Do you love me? Am I feeling it? Or is it me? Full for you is like in the middle of it. You've been in love, but sometimes you get tired of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then it's not. I'm not saying I'm leaving, but I'm saying you better fix it. You know. And then Villain was very much you tried it.
Oh yeah.
Villain was like you tried it, but you don't think I won't try it. You know.
Right.
And then Crossroads is like the adult decision behind it, right? It's like, do you really stay or do you really go? Do you put up with it? Because a lot of us tend to put up with our situation, you know?
Exactly.
And sometimes it's scarier to actually be like, but I'm going to go.
Right.
Yeah. And like, no shade to the person it was about, but it was a decision I definitely was in the space of at the time.
Yes.
So if you ever see me, any performances of me at that moment, I was in it. I was like, I'm at my crossroad and I have made my decision. You know, yeah.
Baby,
I love that.
Shout out, the Crossroads was actually one of my favorite songs from you. And you're welcome. The one thing I love about what you do with your visuals, your music videos, is you like to. I consider it as you like connecting with your family. Like you bring people that you know, your closest knit people. That's going to like it's almost like you bring the party to you in the music video. So it just makes it that much more comfortable for you and everyone else. Because we're just having a hangout. We're hanging out.
Just hanging out.
Right? And so I saw that in Crossroads. I saw all your friends. I wasn't part of that one.
Yeah, that was pre our friendship.
That was before our friendship.
Yeah.
But I saw that and then Blow Your Mind. That's art. That's Roommate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Roommate for a second.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about like how I came into the mix and the projects I've done with you and all that stuff. So let's talk about Roommate, how that formed, and I'm going to let you just run with that.
Okay. So Roommate is a group that me and my best friend are a part of. Shout out to Linda James. Roommate came out of a need for me and him in that instance, if that makes sense. At the time, I had got the show that I was on, Chasing Dallas.
Yes.
And at the time, I was like, I am way over my head. I was like I knew I could do solo music. I know I can do that. And I was like, well, I don't have any new music out right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm making music, but what am I gonna do on this show so that I am not one of the girls who got nothing to do? You know. And
it's the undercover shade.
It's the overcover shade. I get over it. You watch it. You'll see, like, girl, what are you doing? Nothing. And you're not doing nothing unless it's with me or with somebody else. I'm not going back anyway to watch it. But that's neither here nor there. But at the time, I was like, what do I do? And at the time, me and my best friend were in the space of, okay, we were still creating music. Blow Your Mind was actually the first song we wrote. And it was very much like...
Oh, you guys wrote that together? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
We better have.
Well, I'm saying, like, I didn't know that was the first one. I didn't know. I thought it was one before that, and that was like a feature.
Well, we had always worked together.
Right.
So he wrote on my project in the beginning. You know, he wrote on DNA. He wrote majority of Villain. Gotcha. Full for You, we collabed on, and Love Tango. So he definitely was... His pen is in there, right? But at the time, we were getting ready to write something for me. If I recall, I may be wrong, but at the time we was like, when we were writing Blow Your Mind, we were like, I like how this sounds because Blow Your Mind is the perspective of a top and a bottom, and, and I'm like, ooh, I can't pull off top, or you not in people in my business, but you know what I mean, like that, the energy in the song.
Shout out to the Plus community.
That's neither here nor there. Anyway, but
People may have wanted to know.
You know. But what was I saying? But so how he delivered his verse, I was like, low key, do you want this to be a Kerry D featuring Lyndon James record? Because at the time we knew that I was going to be on the show. By that time we knew it, and I was like, but I can't come up with nothing. And so we were like, really, we kept writing. We stopped on that for a minute and we started writing some other stuff. But everything we were writing felt like we were doing it for us.
Right.
And I was like, well, shit. Well, we just be a group. Nice. How about we just bring the group to the show?
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
Great ideas come to us like that.
Right.
And it came out beautifully because it gave me a chance to not feel so much pressure. I mean, I still felt a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. By being on the show, but also by, feeling like I'm the only, at the time, I was the only one who navigated the ideal of creating music, going out, performing it, promoting yourself as an artist. So I'm bringing my best friend along because my goal was to make sure my best friend was like, go ahead and get started. Like he recorded music, but he was scared to like put his foot out there as an artist.
Yes, and me and Lyndon have multiple conversations about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, people will love your voice. Yes. People will love your delivery. And I'm like, let roommate be the catalyst for it. Exactly. Like come with me. We can do this together. I was trying to get him to be on the show too because he got more personality than I do. I mean, like this is giving good personality, but he give like way better, like way personable. I'm less personable. And you know what I mean?
We know.
Keep playing.
Nobody's playing.
You know what? But yeah, it came back so seamlessly. Mm-hmm. And then like the fact that he trusted me to like carry our vision to fruition. Like once we had wrote Blow Your Mind and had recorded it, and then also trusted me to put that information out on Chasing Dallas, and then also like, okay, here's our vision for we had a whole different vision for Blow Your Mind.
Oh yeah? Okay.
We did. It was a lot more sexual. But I was thinking that's gonna cost a lot of money. We had money, but we had that much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For this idea that we had. But I was like, how about we throw a house party? Right?
Yes.
And we can have different versions of love in there. There's straight, there's gay, there's lesbians.
It was.
People in the transgender community, and then there, like you look at it and it looks like black love, all forms of it.
All forms, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I want that on display when people listen to this music. They're like, fuck,
right?
I see it in all its glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the production behind the actual Blow Your Mind video, because that was my first in my entire life, my first music video I've ever been into. Oh, well, yeah, shout out to that.
But, you're welcome.
I didn't say thank you,
but you did.
I kind of did, but you did. And so I was okay. So this is on my side. I was nervous as shit. I did not know what to wear. I was told, but I wasn't told. Yeah, like we told you. Yeah, but you know how Jeremy is. Jeremy likes to
Jeremy.
Jeremy overthinks things on a microsecond basis. So
all that room in that brain.
Yeah, well, it's paying off.
Oh, hey.
Shout out to Plus. So
go off.
So that was a very unique and inspiring experience, actually.
Thank you.
Because I got to see you be vulnerable on camera. Because you had like a scene in the bedroom, right, with Premier, right?
Yeah.
And so and then also being in the I've never been in like a orchestrated situation. So we were like, all right, guys, we're actually drinking. Actually fill your drinks and like act like we had a party, we vibing. I said, so I'm like overthinking this. I'm like, so like do like are we like moving together or like what are we doing? We just jamming, right? And so I put a little cute 1-2 ensemble together, and I was just there.
Yeah,
I was just there. I said, I'm just gonna be here.
Yeah,
this is a kickback.
Yeah,
and I know what a kickback is.
Exactly.
And so we're gonna copy and paste it over here.
Yeah,
just people recording us. That's
copy and paste.
It's there's tech everywhere. I have to insert it when I can.
Yeah.
So and so it was inspiring because you were able to bring all these groups of people together, right? we don't do it enough where we come together
Mm-hmm.
in the African American
What
community.
is it?
African American.
And he has degrees,
Cancel.
everybody.
Cancel.
I have degrees and I also have booze.
That was a good comeback.
Oh, me and Carrie do this all the time, child.
Mhm. I enjoy it.
It's cool when it happens for you.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no. So it was the production of it all. Just seeing the unity. That's what
Yeah.
it is. The unity of your friends and subordinates. It was members of the show that was on there.
Yeah.
As well. So like I enjoyed that, and
Yeah.
then the other project we collabed
Wait,
on.
can we sit there for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minute?
yeah, we
Hold
can- we
on,
can
'cause
set it right back
First
in.
of all, I really appreciate you saying that, right? Thank you first. But that video really, first of all, shout out to Lamont Baldwin. He was the
Oh
videographer
yeah, shout out to him.
to blow your mind.
And capture all the scenes
He
and
is so fucking amazing.
yeah, he's very thorough too.
He
The
ve-
visualist.
and we're both Pisces, so when I say something to him,
that's cool.
I mean, you can be a hater all your life.
That's
but
not what this is.
Yeah, he's definitely that.
I'm definitely not
He's
a
a
hater.
hater.
It's
Yeah,
not a hater. It's
He's a
It's
hater.
definitely just recognizing the beta signs. Okay, let's go.
Wow, Sagittarius. Wow, how are you gonna let them talk about you like that?
Beta signs?
Not talking about Pisces. Can't
Beta
be.
signs.
Definitely not talking about the Sagittarius.
He can't be. I mean, wow. Anyway,
How give a shit?
anyway, but like when me and Linda were pivoting our idea, we were like, okay, what's we gonna do? Because we can't do whips and chains. Well, blow your mind. We got to do something. And I was like, when we came up with the idea, Lamont was able to be like, okay, look, he helped us find a space. The space was beautiful. It definitely accommodated the vibe, right?
Definitely.
And then knowing that our friends would be there, we wanted to make sure it was a good event for everybody, especially because I was inviting the girls to be to film us shoot this video.
Right.
I was like, my goal is I'll never mix my friends and my business and it be bullshit.
Right.
Right? And I also wanted to make sure that we all had a good time because even though this is me and Lyndon's baby, I wanted everyone to feel like they owned a part of that or felt a part of that because I want all of our friends are in there. You know,
Right.
it was a good time. I mean, like at first the liquor wasn't supposed to be there,
But it did its job.
but it did its job. I wasn't mad at it, and I will say we didn't just have liquor there.
Yes.
And I was very happy about that. But
Real quick, do you think the liquor also helped you calm down a bit or
for
relax
sure.
you because there was the scene in the bedroom
for sure.
in the music video?
And I didn't do what I wanted to do in that video.
Oh.
Like I was still nervous,
Gotcha.
even with it.
Gotcha,
Like,
gotcha.
Because shout out to Premiere, but I also wasn't like I wasn't. You don't really go into a situation like that without having a conversation about what we're comfortable with.
Gotcha.
What we,
Oh, y'all didn't have a conversation?
not per se, and that was my fault.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I did. I invited him. I was like, I would like you to be my love interest in the video. He was like, cool, but I didn't know what he was comfortable with beyond that because I've had other love interests in other videos, but but you know, and at that moment we were able to discuss. Okay, this is what you're comfortable with. This is what I'm comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then let's do it. So I didn't want to feel that. I didn't want him to feel disrespected or like out of place if I did something that was beyond that. So I wanted to make sure it was still tasteful,
Mm-hmm.
still nice.
And it did. It
Thank
was
you.
very tasteful.
Thank you, but
Because I was in it.
sure, sure.
Hey, we're back on the show.
Sure.
Let's not get it cut out.
But no, it became one of those things where it was like I got to see my vision really come out
Yeah.
and see roommate's vision really play up. And I will say, be on this podcast, it is the best music video on Chasing. But yeah, we were like, you know what I mean? The girls can't. Okay, the best one is yet to come.
Yes.
Okay, because we're working on new stuff. But anyway, I will die on that hill. But it was such a great vibe. But yes, I really blow your mind is my like piece of the resistance at this moment.
Just going.
Oh,
What was it?
that's all I
I'll
got.
break that a soundbite. That was beautiful. So, there was a
We did.
No, it's Kerry.
It's me. It is Mike.
It's Kerry, baby.
I shifted the table. My fault.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to act. These
Real quick,
libations.
so before we get to the other project that we worked on together, tell us about this pencil.
You're so funny. So, for those who don't know, people who meet me, they always meet me with a pencil.
I met him with a pencil, and I'm like, "Are you about to write something?"
No, I did. You just probably wouldn't notice it.
It probably was in this other pocket.
Yeah, I keep a pencil on me. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But no,
we don't condone violence.
We don't encourage violence,
Except
no.
if it's necessary.
No, but a pencil used to be like a blankie for me. The best way I can explain it,
it's something that comforts you.
Yeah, for sure. Growing up, but not to sound like I was down and out, but I was poor, so we didn't have a lot of things like toys and stuff like that to really play. I as a child, those were my experiences, right? You experience homelessness, you experience a lot of things, but the one thing I could always maintain with a pencil was, because I was in school, had to have one. It's quite literally a requirement at this point.
Wait. I'm not laughing.
For me.
The facial expressions.
It's quite literally.
The means that I'm going to correct.
It's quite literally. It's a requirement, and so, but it became something more for me. It became my imagination where I would go when I didn't feel like being in reality.
Right. Okay.
I could this could be a spaceship. This could be a piece of my hair flipping. Depending on what vibe I was in that moment, I needed to escape my reality at that moment.
So there's depth to your artistry then.
I would like to think so.
Well, cool. So I just made it up. So the
I think it's been there.
Done that. So listen, so it's Kerry D, y'all. So the pencil, it is a catalyst for you to create.
In some cases, sure.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helps when I'm in that space because I can be exactly who I need to be in those creative spaces. Outside of those creative spaces, it's a shield. It's a sword if need be. I mean, not that I would use it. No.
It's a circle back for me.
I will go.
It's the
You didn't hear me
for
say
me.
that I would protect myself now.
Right? No, I heard it.
No, but it became a protector to me because I like to think that I'm socially awkward in public. Like I agree. I agree. But then when you say that to certain people, they be like, "How can you determine that you're socially awkward?"
Can you say that again in Karen's voice?
In whose voice?
Karen's.
How can you determine that you're socially awkward? Girl, go eat a dick. But
Shout out to eating dick.
But essentially, it in spaces where there are people I don't know or situations I haven't done or haven't been with, I tend to carry one just to be like, you're gonna be okay. You're here. You're present. So you're fine. As long as you're in that space, then you're good. No one else can move you one way or the other.
So totem.
I like that. I like that as a better.
I was thinking about because we're nerds, and so
there
was an episode
that connects
on the Green Arrow where Damien Dark, where he was his power is channeled by a totem, right?
Okay.
And so without the totem, he wasn't sound. He wasn't balanced.
Oh.
And so
This
that
is my
pencil
totem.
is your totem.
I like that. I'll carry that.
Kerry D will carry that.
Will do.
It does.
Facts.
So I know that we are at a certain point in our podcast here, and I know that Kerry's birthday is today, so I don't want to hog all this time. So
don't worry about that. I'm sure they'll be all right.
All right, cool. I don't want to get backlash from that later on.
I'll put it on me. Who what they gonna say? It's my birthday. You wait on me.
Right.
You're gonna celebrate regardless.
Right. Am I not coming?
Or you not invited?
Star of the show.
Okay. The party don't start till I
I
walk
get
in.
there.
What you mean?
So, yes, and you have a great time there.
Thank
and
you.
so you, I'm gonna retract that. So
What are you about to say?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. So we've been working together. We
Mhm.
work together rather.
Mhm.
One of the things that I'm gonna just keep it general. One of the things I enjoy about being in Carrie's presence, like we in Lyndon's as well, we find ways to elevate each other.
Yeah.
Like literally, we're like, friend, let's get together. What are you working on? What am I working on? What he's working on? What is he working on rather?
Mhm.
And then we'll be like, all right, so what can we do to help each other?
Build, yeah.
Right? And build. And so like those sessions are like monumental. And I
Yeah.
think they need to happen more often.
Agreed.
In our community, in general. They need to look at what we're doing, is what I'm saying.
Facts.
And so I feel let me retract that. Do you feel that as an artist, those moments where you spend time with friends, family, whoever is actually interested in like knowing who Kerry is,
Yeah.
help build your character, help build like your artistry, and inspire you? Do you feel like you found inspiration in those moments?
Oh.
Pinky got it.
They got it. Okay. But for sure. And what I will say is I didn't at first. I'm in therapy now, so a lot of therapy.
Out to therapy.
Shout out to my doctor, girl, because he's working.
Yes, they should.
Okay, yeah, they should. Okay. But I'm learning like that I used to be very transient in people's lives, or I'm used to being transient in people's lives. Like I'm here one day, maybe gone the next. But like we'll pick it up right where we left off. That's not a problem, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like for me, that's not a problem.
Yeah,
But a lot of relationships don't grow that way.
exactly.
And I had to, I especially in these last few years, I had to learn to, okay, I can rely on my friends.
Yes.
I can lean on my friends, especially because being a homosexual,
A plus member.
a plus member.
You subscribe.
I am very much subscribed. Unfortunately, I cannot unsubscribe. But
You better give them your money.
okay, they have it. Okay.
I'm dead.
But even like, because a lot of times you don't have your family the way you need them,
Mhm.
right? For me, I'm taking care of my dad. He's in a nursing home, so that's in and of itself. I can't rely on him to be what I need as far as support. So a lot of times my friends make up for what they lack in.
Family is not just about blood. Family is
Exactly.
who you feel you're connected and belong.
Exactly. And so as I'm learning to be more present from being transient, because I want to be more present in my friend's life and more accountable to who I am in their life, I value, and I'm learning to value, like, oh, okay, you're here, and it's not just, okay, well, thank you for your service, bye. It's, you know what I mean? Because it
It seems very
like that.
transactional.
And I'm used to that.
Yes.
I'm very much used to that.
Is it because of the industry that you're in that you have to have these type of transactional relationships?
Not really. Not
Okay.
really,
Okay.
because even as a local artist, you make you hope there's a transaction that happens. Like, I perform, I want to get paid, right? But some of the times you have to, especially when I was making music, when I started making music, you had to do stuff for free.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's like building your credit, building your resume. You know what I mean?
reference.
Like
I like
I had to do it. I
Mm-hmm.
had to do it for free and eat
bono
the girls up.
Yes.
Just so people know that when you get Kerry D on the record, on the track, or on stage at live, oh, he's gonna deliver. And okay, then I'm willing to pay him this amount of money. Woo, woo, woo. But I'm used to that because of how I grew up. I grew up in a very much, I did this, so you do this.
Right.
I took care of this, so you take care of that. And a lot of times relationships don't work that way.
Exactly.
But again, that's how I was used to it. And I didn't see nothing wrong with it because I was protecting myself from actually giving more of an effort.
Mm.
Now that I'm present, I can give more of an effort and know that I'm here to do what I can and be present for who I am in this moment.
Right.
And hopefully that is a benefit and a service to my friends and and woo woo. And hopefully
Wait, go back.
and woo woo. And hopefully they can also give me that, but I'm not looking for it.
No. That's a great way to put it because in general. Like I'm not keeping tally, right?
Exactly.
Because that's a little tit for tat petty ish.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very much.
at the same time, we know you petty.
Hella petty.
Yeah, I know. We see how you came into this podcast. At the same time, though, it should not be one sided.
Agreed.
It shouldn't. You recognize your both of you guys recognize your worth.
Yeah.
In a relationship, and I tell people now, like, you should be creating bonds in a relationship with people that have equally as much to lose as you do.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Equally as much to lose as you do, because there's a certain tether. There's a certain.
I had to pose. It was a moment I caught myself. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm present.
There is a level of accountability when you know that you have something to lose and the other person has something to lose in an investment. Yeah. Right. And so that's the type of bonds that I'm forming in this 35 year of age that I'm at, mid 30s.
At this old age of 35.
Oh, we're going to cut that.
Oh, I will. I will.
Get here.
Oh, I will.
You're already here.
No, I got
just half
years.
the size. Anyway, so
half the youth.
So if you guys haven't noticed, Kerry D has, aside from shifting the table every 2 seconds.
Am I really doing that?
No, really, because you bring it.
Can I bring it this way?
I think you're making it worse.
Okay.
Now I feel like I'm about to fall over. Now,
I'm sure that's because of your big head.
I caught it already.
No, that's all right. Can you get your head though?
Ooh, I need a tripod for it.
I
know. See, the good thing about I know.
Okay,
I might need to lean back. Mm-hmm. So,
shout out to inebriation station.
I like the drop for that. Oh, the good transition. So, me and Kerry, we do this whole banter thing. It's like a tit for tat.
He's really good at it. I don't give enough energy to it.
Oh, that means he's not trying.
Sure. That part. Thank you.
He has to be at a certain level to try anyway. So
this is true.
Hi, Lack. Why
today is I am having a birthday, so I'm the most elevated version of myself.
Not with all that shade you were throwing earlier.
I don't recall.
Shout out to Inebriation Station. So Kerry D has this twang when he speaks.
That's what I
Can
hear.
you tell us where you're from? We should have led with that, but we're going to leave with it now. It's cool.
Ooh,
when I say tell us about yourself, you should have just
hosts don't know how to.
No, when I say tell us about yourself, you kind of just skipped over that.
Because girl, I'm a transient bitch, so you gotta be waiting. I'm a transient bitch. I don't know where I came from, but I'm just no. So I was born in Ohio, Columbus. That really has little to do with where this twang came from, but clearly. Parents separated. If you haven't seen me, I am a mixed individual, white mama.
They will see you.
Okay, but not first, because apparently I'm putting the audio out.
Anyways.
But I'm a mixed individual. My mama is white. My dad is black. So we moved down here with my black side. And they're from East Texas, Marshall to be exact, which is like a breath away from Shreveport, Louisiana. So a lot of times when you hear me go into my twang, which whatever that means,
you know exactly what the fuck it means.
I do know what it means, but when people it is, and you see that 40 inches back here, baby.
I see 40 millimeters.
You are a hater. You're a hater. I don't like you hate.
Okay, check it. Let's go.
But yeah, so Marshall, Texas is where my family is from. So a lot of times we spend a lot of time in the country. I hang around a lot of country folk. And so that's where, if you do hear an accent, that's where it comes from.
Okay. So that means you can cook.
I can.
You can. So
I can. Now, what can I cook?
I said when.
When can I cook?
I said when are you cooking?
Whenever he invites me over to his spot where all those ovens and microwaves and grills and
I'll buy the groceries. It's cool. So what is
ooh, okay.
Okay,
we can make that happen.
Okay. So shout out to Vienna sausages being heated up. Anyway, so
girl, you know you gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Oh no.
We'll make that sound. We'll make it taste real gourmet.
Ooh, say it again.
Gourmet.
It's giving East Texas.
It's giving our breath away from Shreveport.
Okay.
Shout out Shreveport.
Okay.
Real quick, so before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you about, you being too racist.
Okay.
Not racist.
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 Sure.
And how has that affected you in your come up, your growth as an artist, and just living in general, like being present in the United States? Like, how has that affected you?
It's a very interesting thing. For me, I get to see the privilege that I have as a light skinned man. You like low key, like you get to experience it because like I get pulled over, but I get to also experience like white people not treat me a certain way because they're under the assumption that I too am white, and then hold the anger of like knowing that my brother or my family can't do the same, right? I recall there was a time, a long time ago, when my dad was a functioning adult and he had a functional car and we were driving and I remember he got pulled over and I don't recall the details in the conversation, but the way that he treated my dad until he found out that his wife at the time was white, like, oh, like there was a very big distinct shift, even though people don't fuck with interracial people like that, like, like being together, but it's like there was a shift in him because like he was about to beat the fuck out my dad, and from what it looked like, and you wake up with like, why would you treat him like that? He ain't do nothing wrong, I want to be my daddy ass, but that's me. I have a reason. You, sir, don't have a one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. In that moment,
he ain't do nothing. You came over here and bothered us anyway. But even as an adult, I get to see situations like that, and as an artist, I in therapy I'm also learning this because I like to take on other people's problems as my own. So I like to assume that I can't.
Syndrome.
I like to assume that I shouldn't do X, Y, and Z because it's not my place to do it, right? Rather than just not taking opportunity. That sounds so horrible because I don't take opportunities. But anywho, rather than stepping in those opportunities that are presented to me, I'll be like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's for someone who's more deserving of that.
Yeah.
Assuming that I haven't worked or assuming that I haven't done enough to do it. So in therapy, I'm learning to push that type of feeling aside because that's projection. You're right. I'm projecting those type of ideas and not actually being like stepping into my fullness and who I am, worried about self.
Right.
And I find a lot of times that not enough people worry about others. That's why I feel like I need to. There's a lot of examples of people being like, not caring about us as Black people, not caring about us as people who need more than others.
Right.
And I think I see a lot of times, a lot of people who look like me move into a space of privilege where it'd be like, well, since it doesn't happen to me, it must not happen. Or,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want my art going forward to reflect like the understanding of it still happens regardless if it happens to you or not.
Exactly.
Right? And it's not enough for you to just let it happen. You need to speak up.
Right.
So that's why, I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely did.
And I want to say thank you because you presented us with an award, roommate award, not too long ago. And I really didn't know what to say. That was a very distinct moment where I was like, what the fuck do I say about Black history?
Yes. Moment? I forgot about that.
I didn't forget because it had me on pins and needles.
That's right. Yeah. So the background of that. So I have an organization called Ode to Black History. And shout out to Ode to Black History. And so during that moment I had Kerry perform some songs, and I asked him a question after his performance, right? It was before or after?
Something like that.
Yeah, sure. It sounds about right. So
I was still transient in that moment. I'm just kidding.
Sesame Street word of the day.
Transient.
I asked him, what does Black history mean to you? And he visibly looked like, oh, wow, I've never even thought about this.
Never been asked.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? And mind you, I'm speaking for my group.
Right.
I'm by myself speaking for my group.
Right.
So I'm like, what do I have to say that is relevant enough and not dismissive of who you see?
Yes.
Right? I'm like, I one thing that used to boil my motherfucking blood is seeing white people move in spaces and be like, so you know you white. You and I know you white. But you gonna act like you that's weird, you know?
Yeah.
And for this to be ode to Black history, I was like, let me make sure that I show the most reverence and the most respect in this space, because this is an opportunity for people who look like me to see this is how you're supposed to talk in this space. You're supposed to hold the reverence, hold the respect in this space, because you're not. I don't know the best word for this one. You don't. Most of the time, we're not the ones helping.
Yeah, gotcha.
We're the ones benefiting.
Right. I got
You know what I mean? And I was like, let me make sure that I know that you know I know.
Yeah.
Before I accept this so graciously and go sit down.
Yeah, and everyone really was inspired by your on the spot answer. They were very inspired. You was like, I fucked that up, didn't I? I'm like, no, you were actually inspiring.
I was,
because everyone was like, that's a good question. So, but thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you coming on here. With Kerry D, y'all, he came on here with all of his 32-year-old self.
Okay, as of today.
Rich
32.
Yes, I appreciate
But this the correct 35.
So, shout out, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank
and we will definitely have you on in the future.
Okay, because, new music coming soon.
Yes,
Soon.
Oh, tell the people how to follow you, by the way.
Yes, I can be followed on all social media platforms at official Kerry D, spelled like Kerry Washington, which is Kerry. I won't say the other part because we don't slander anymore. So Kerry, KERRYD, and I'm on everything. My music is on all streaming platforms. Kerry D, KERRYD. Roommate RM8. Because a lot of people be like, I spelled roommate. No, room like RM and then 8.
Yeah.
You should be able to find us. If not, put spaces between them. But either here nor there, we are on all streaming platforms, and you can catch our music videos on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you for being here.